Well, we're talking election issues and how to make sure you do penetration of the electorate adequately in a particular geographic area. I have two members of parliament with me. Adam Mutawakilu is a member of parliament for Damongo, and he is in the studio. Thanks for joining me. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Okay. And Boniface Gambila Adakbila, and he's a member of parliament for Napdam. Thanks for joining me.
Good morning.
Where have you been to?
Oh, I've been around Upper East with the next president of Ghana, Nana Addo.
Oh, great.
And Dr. Bawumia Alhaji, who has been firing all the salvos, all the corners of economic figures. And
And I noticed that over the last 2 months, you charged up the campaign.
Oh yes, we tactically. We just, if not so, these people will disturb us.
Yes. So far, what's the tracking? Do you think that the campaign, the message you're getting is, you're sending out is getting the traction that you need?
Yes, because when we go, we are talking of the things that are feasible, possible to do. We're looking at broad vision, and we're looking at visions that you can strategically identify their pillars or their teams and the strategic objectives and results expected, so that when you now sit at the desk, you only work at the strategic objectives and then you fire. You know, instead of these people are always attacking us. Nana is short, Nana is big, Nana is that. Those ones don't help.
Those are not the variables by which people.
They are talking of physiological traits.
But and I see that in the first round of the campaigning for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, your flag bearer, you went to some notable areas, the strongholds, Ashanti. You had huge crowds, but some of the places too. It's not all the time you get the huge crowds that you want, especially when you go up north.
It depends on the population of the electorate. And the north, as we went, it was stampede. As for the north, it was stampede.
From where?
Tamale.
For example, in Napdam, it was a stampede. Bolga was west. Bolga, the whole park was filled to capacity, even at odd hours, not normal hours. Bongo was wild. And when we got to Pagachiana, how? Only God knows.
I know China very, very well.
China. Yeah, we got to Paga.
The one you went to Paga?
Yeah,
okay.
The program was in Paga itself. Okay. Come and see fireworks. As for Garu, oh my God, things are changing. I was so amazed, you know.
It makes you very positive, I think.
Yes, because when you pick the Bible and pray, like Nana Addo will pick the Bible and pray, then Bawumia picks the Quran and prays. So these two, B plus Q, Bible plus Quran, is doing wonders. That's how we got oil for this country. Elijah Aliu prayed the Quran, Kufuor prayed the Bible.
Is that the mechanics for discovering oil?
It's spiritual.
And I see that
they prayed. Nana went to Jerusalem and came and lost.
No problem.
Oh, you mean the last election?
So what I'm talking about, I'm happy he mentioned Alhaji Bawumia, because he had good service under the President John Dramani Mahama when he went to Mecca. And since he came, he has not been talking about that, because he has seen the difference between their time and President John Dramani Mahama's time.
You mean the organization of the Hajj?
Yes. So
they even took off from the Tamale airport.
They even landed.
The first flight. Yeah, okay, the two flights.
So because of that, he doesn't talk. He only take the claim, but he should give credit.
But you should be worried. They went up north, and especially in Tamale, the whole street of Tamale was full.
For us, we always don't underrate anything. Two, we don't only deal with towns. We deal with grassroots.
So for you, the crowds are always not important?
The crowds are important, but that is cosmopolitan. And cosmopolitan situations are not something you take the crowd, you go to the market and you get crowd and you come and say, oh, let me go and sleep. That is not what NDC does. We are grassroots people. So every community is very important for us. And our flag bearer and President of the Republic of Ghana make sure he goes.
And so Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo won the first round and the crowds were massive. And
I don't know where
everybody thought the president will not be getting the crowds, but apparently he also seems to be getting the crowds.
It is evident. They will say, but you will not see them being shown. Because
No, we have seen the crowds on TV because we do
they
the
came to my
reporting, yes.
place, and I never saw the crowd that they got at Damongo. It never.
Were
came
you
out.
there at the time?
I was there.
Did you get the reports?
Very, very good on the ground. They never showed the crowd they had in Damongo. They only went around and played some chieftaincy game when the people themselves haven't mentioned exactly those words. And that is unfortunate. You understand? Like the Yape. You realize that Yape traditional area captures Fufulso. And Fufulso is a Guinea worm prone area. So if a water facility is coming to that area, the best one is to tackle the Fufulso, which is a Guinea worm prone area. And that is exactly what President John Dramani Mahama did.
So one,
Fufulso today, they have water.
so when will he tackle Yape?
And it is one by one.
Because Yape is close to the Volta, right?
Yes, we tap that water from the Volta, but it's on the other side of the river, Fufulso.
Yeah, I know.
So you realize that President Mahama timely ensured that
So he do
if
that
there's
in his
any
next step.
outbreak, if there are rollout, the MPP should have told us during their time, we did this for the people of Yape, and therefore NDC Yape traditional area, and therefore NDC.
So you're saying it's not true that they've been getting the endorsement from the traditional rulers?
It's not true. Two, they went to Damongo, the Yaguares Palace. He indicated clearly that the road was our biggest problem. One, because it linked up so many communities, towns, and capitals, the northern region to the upper west. And the cost of it was about $160 million, and that has been tackled. Now the water project, which is about $30 million, definitely the President Mahama had promised that that will be the next one he will tackle. And that one, definitely, it delays a little because the road project was a grant. So the processes in coming to Parliament wasn't there. The water project is a loan. So in loans, it will take a little while because they have to do the agreement.
But you've
bring it
been
to
following the
Parliament,
argument from
and-
the opposition NPP. They said that your government is so much fixated. You seem to have a certain techie for building just structures, etc. And even those structures, they even accuse you of, one, over bloating the prices, and two, they are not necessary because you need to put money in the pockets of the
You see,
ordinary Ghanaian.
Social infrastructure is the bedrock for any country that wants to become an advanced nation. When he goes to UK or US, what he stand by and take is the social infrastructures for you to know that, oh, that is US. Oh, this building is nice. That is the bedrock. And President Mahama will ensure that the social infrastructure, when executed and completed, will expand and absorb the employment situation we currently face. For example, the regional hospital he's constructing, the teaching hospitals, we have the WA Regional Hospital, Bolga, Tamale expansion, we have the Reach Hospital. When these are completed, they will need more intake, more nurses will be enrolled, employed. The Terminal 3 at the Kotoka International Airport, Tamale International Airport, when they are completed, they will need people to run it. And that is how a system works. Don't have amorphous growth where the structures are not there. It is amorphous. And that is why for you to be able to take off, to get to the advanced nation, it is the social infrastructure that must be in place first. And it will translate. While he's going on with the YEA program, graduates are being recruited. Over 2,300 currently have been recruited. They are rolling out more. So as the social infrastructure pick up, more employment opportunities are being created, while giving leverage to the private sector to expand.
Anyway, when we all travel, we look at the infrastructure and say this country is well developed. I know that.
That is the first thing you
Yes,
say.
but
Anywhere
then
you
the
are.
economic livelihoods of the people are also good.
Ask them, before they got to that stage, there were sacrifices that was made.
And so we are also
So we go and see it because they have gone through it and want to be like them. There were serious sacrifices that were made. I went
Honorable
to
Boniface.
Malaysia,
You see,
and I asked when they took off, they discovered oil. How was it? And you realize that the trend they are going through is the same trend we're going through. And the future is bright. They are far more advanced. One, they discovered oil in 1974.
So your argument, the future is more bright under the end.
Very, very bright. And that is why economic indicators are very clear that the future is very bright.
All right, we'll talk about the economy very soon. But there are also concerns raised by many civil society organizations, especially concerning the election and particularly about violence, etc. Is that a concern for you as a politician who is campaigning and talking to the electorate that they need to behave uprightly? And what sort of messages are you giving them?
I thought you wanted me to rebut what he
When
was.
you spoke yours.
He spoke plenty things.
Okay, you can make a point. You also spoke.
We have built hospital, we have built this airport and whatnot. There was no airport in Ghana. Planes were not landing before we got to a certain stage. And what is happening now at the airport and the hospitals and schools being built, there will be no more schools to be built beyond Mahama. Mahama himself went to certain schools. At that time, every time and its requirements. This is what he can do now. And that is the same person who said it is an exercise in mediocrity to say that you are building hospitals, you are constructing roads, you are building schools. The same person. So which government hasn't built infrastructure? Let me tell you. And it's not about finishing one thing and going to another. When you are doing development, soft and hard, look, you do organizational capacity building, infrastructure, training, and development of people. Then these ones dovetail on to improving business processes, efficiencies. Systems will have to be improved. Old systems change to new systems. Digital is coming, you forget about analog. Okay, now once you do that, you move on to look at what will satisfy your stakeholders and customers. Then how are you controlling finances? Are you controlling waste? Are you making money for the system? All these are done concurrently, not to finish one and go and do one. No, that is the competencies we are talking about.
I spoke about the recruitment that is going on
today,
vis-a-vis the development.
The hospitals that were available had vacancies, still have vacancies, and they need staffing. They need equipment to be done. Bolga Hospital Regional, phase 1 was done with the Bado Saudi Fund. Phase 1 was done. Okay, other hospitals, you went to the
3 regional hospitals.
Other hospitals, go to Kumasi, go to Kolibu, go to Takoradi, go to Tamale Teaching Hospital, where we even got the grant from the Netherlands. We had to do what was required, expansion, things that will save lives.
I'm saying 8 years.
It doesn't mean that you must go and build when the inside is bad. So we did the inside.
You are saying that
we started building
for the current spate of massive infrastructure.
So we went on and did some district hospitals. So we have to work and come up. So why didn't you leave President Kufuor to continue
That's why you gave him 2 terms.
The constitution
doesn't
allow.
Very good.
That is why you gave him 2 terms.
Very good.
We gave him 2 terms.
We gave 2 terms because he performed.
And he is performing.
He performed.
The president is performing.
So today, people are fed up. Look.
Which people?
Ghanaians are fed up. Greater percentage of Ghanaians are fed up. You get up, then because they've seen the picture, then they start arresting people for freedom of expression, locking them in BNI or BN whatever. You know, so all these things are not, in fact, exercising mediocrity. We still stand by
We're talking about election
violence now.
when you mentioned the Chachu case,
anyway, but you have made 2 comments on one subject. So
violence. What is violence? You see, when it comes to election time, some people already have their agenda. You see, one thing people have been talking about, this violence, and we are not being careful. We have weak structures, weak institutions that
as a country.
Yes. They are not able to do early warning detection and then protect or prevent. We are not. We don't have those institutions working. People will come at election time because already they have a chieftaincy dispute. They translate it to that day. That is an occasion when they can vent. And when they do that during the election, then we say that, oh, election violence. It's true, because it has been imported and cared of into an election period or election day. That is true. People have land disputes. So they try and bring it in during that time because they find that that is a ripe period, and that, look, let's make sure if we side with this winner, then we'll be able to control our territory. I get it. So the issues coming are cared of into elections. Then also, thirdly, you come election time, then someone like a president of Ghana goes to import a Montier from UK, you leave your children and come and be insulting Nana Addo. That can create violence. If Nana Addo's people too got up and said, you have left your children under the advice of President Mahama in UK, and he's brought you into the NDC Montier radio station to be insulting me or insulting my father, I'll also do that. Then that is violent. That is where the issues of what? Utterances come in. Okay? But now people are discerning, and people are realizing, you know. And so for me, why do you attack the physical person rather than talking of issues? Not until we get to the debate of issues. We are not being fair to our people to grow and grow better in the democracy.
Before I start with the
you wanted to reply to
I want to extend my good morning to my cherished viewers, and more especially the good people of Damongo constituency. Today I'll be on my way to the constituency, inshallah. Yeah, election-related matters. We have pre-election, during election, and after the election. Pre-election is what we are going through now. But thank God, the Media Foundation for West Africa has been publishing monthly political parties that are leading in vulgar language in terms of this thing. And that is good. But we need to still work on it to ensure that we make it decent as the election gets closer. Two, during the election, in the 90s, we used to have more violence during the election period because there was no verification, the education was not much, the country wasn't well open with media. But over the period, it has been declining. It is evident that in 2012, during the course of the election, we have less violence. Two, the EC2 has identified 81 flashpoints, and that is good.
1,000.
81 flashpoints. Yes, flashpoints. That is good, and they have published those flashpoints, and very, very critical. And therefore, it is very important we pay attention to those areas, as well as those we say they are less, because anything could happen. And therefore, the message should go down. We should be able to carve certain messages, push it to the people, let them know that violence will never result better. We have witnessed Liberia, Sierra Leone, what happened there as a result of this violence. And therefore, recently in Cairo, Egypt, what Mubarak did, and they said he has to go because he killed this thing. They tend to kill more, thousands of people as a result of violence. We need to push that. Now, after the election, our political leaders, what we say after it can trigger violence. When you know definitely that you have lost, and you say, no, I won't agree. After everything has been done, that is where we have a very great likelihood of having violence. After the elections, with announcement of the election results, where somebody feels uncomfortable, then he comes out and says, hey, let's gather at a circle. We are not going to agree. then in the course of that, then violence could happen. So political leaders, political commentators, this is very critical.
So you're
us.
saying that what you the leaders say, or you the leaders of the parties,
Yes.
or the various
Yes,
entities
if I'm an MP and I contest and I say, after they have declared, I say, no, it is not true. My supporters will agree. Let's march to EC's office. What are you inviting? Or if my opponents say, oh, no, that is not good results. And no, let's march to EC's office. What will be the outcome? And that is why I said our utterances as political leaders during this period is very critical, because it is very sensitive during that time. Two, our utterances in terms of tribal must be very limited, whereby we link it to tribes. It must be, that can catapult tribal conflicts, and that one will no more be political. It becomes tribal. And anywhere, anybody, anywhere who belongs to a particular tribe could be attacked. So I want to urge as Ghanaians, and as we say, politics to some extent, a writer says, the madness of the many for the enjoyment of the few. Sometimes those who get mad and go around and destroy, if you ask them what is at stake, they don't even know.
Yeah.
So we must sit
And the chief of staff
learn.
has been campaigning or complimenting the effort of his boss, the president, in campaigning as well. And he said that whichever political leader or whoever calls a young person to go and fight or undertake violence, that person should think right through himself and say whether what I'm doing is the right thing or not. But then we have the vehicle to perpetuate violence. We've seen it in Rwanda, and that's the media. For example, if we do publications and say the president supposedly went to impregnate the wife of the Asantehene, the daughter of the Asantehene, we say Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is a weed smoker, is a cocaine addict.
Or he has cancer.
Or he has, well, supposedly has cancer, or perhaps he's a short person. Or we also say the president drinks whiskey, for example. I mean, what sort of language is that? And how did we come to that very point of uttering those things in our politics?
Yeah, that is the problem. And it's difficult to trace where it started from, so that you can say, look, that is where the blame must lie. It's difficult to say.
And this is where we have to tackle it.
Yeah, and we need to, okay? And we need to ignore those who preach those kind of lies or kind of propaganda. But take it for example, if you see, you just mentioned Rwanda and all this. Rwanda, the Hutus and the Tutsis, they had their own problem. But it dovetailed into election day. Why did it dovetail into election day? Let's win the election, then we have the control. So you say that election violence. Election, that concept election is suffering these things, so taking all these blames. When people transport all these agendas long from somewhere. But the fact is, yes, that is the period people want to take advantage, to be able to get the power, with the apparent perception that they can protect their agenda. Are you getting my point? But if you have today, a chief of staff, you go around campaigning, then you go and tell people, Mahama is your brother, so vote according to tribe. Meanwhile, you are from Eastern region, and Nana is from Eastern region, and you, the chief of staff, you are not campaigning for your brother. And you have gone to the north to preach to divide us, which is annoying. So when leaders like that show that kind of attitude, that kind of I don't know, I just hate ethnic things. I hate it.
Is it wrong to say that vote for me because I'm one of your own? I
don't have a problem with that. But why do
But that's what he said.
I'm telling you the
He said
agenda.
vote for him because he's one of your own.
He's one of your own. He said vote for him because he's your brother and he's from your home. And this time we are dealing tribal.
No. He
Don't
went up
misquote.
north.
We got the
He went-
information. I'm not quoting him.
Don't
We
quote,
got the
don't
information.
misquote that one.
We got the information.
No, he went. He didn't go to. He didn't go to. Where does the president come from?
Damango.
Oh, he did.
Or Bole.
He didn't
The
come.
mother is from Damango.
Okay,
The
went-
mother is from Bole.
he
went
went-
to divide north-south.
Yes, he went up north.
He's talking
He
about.
was not even in the
north.
northern region. I think he was somewhere in
He
the.
went all.
Yes,
he went
to
all.
other places.
You see?
He's doing the south-north thing. He must stop it.
Okay. You are saying that that's bad.
We must stop. We know. Don't let us pretend. We shouldn't pretend. We know, and we had our people around. Look, as I sit here, there are NDC, CPP, everything here. Look, today, any party can go sit, talk anything. We have people everywhere, let alone public meetings. You call chiefs and what? Some of the chiefs are our people, and they are your people. We're in the same church. We're in the same unions.
But the question I ask, is
Yes.
it wrong if they say,
Vote for
Vote-
me because I'm yours.
yeah,
It's as
because I'm
simple
one
as
of
that.
your own?
But if you go starting to bring ethnic division,
That is from.
that is unacceptable.
Okay.
No, thank you very much.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, please. I do.
That's
Yeah.
unacceptable.
First of all-
you can say vote for me because I know your problems because I'm with you. You, the person, should even speak. But if you go and say vote for your brother, what does that mean? Don't forget that we are human beings and we know the
You
idiosyncrasies
are
of
afraid
ours.
they could easily be influenced.
You are from Eastern. Why don't you go and campaign for Nana?
I'm asking you, are you afraid they could easily be influenced and vote for
Oh
the
no!
president?
For me, the grounds, my service, the service, they can't even do service now. No polls from the NDC and the dispatch. This time, have you seen any polls? They are inundated. The ground is ripe.
Okay.
God has written. The Bawumiya's Quran and Nanado's Bible are working. Full stop.
Thank you very much. You see, issues of
Ethnicity.
publications that has this thing. One, you look at the source. Two, you look at the evidence available. It doesn't necessarily mean that if somebody has some shortcomings and they are facts, you keep quiet. I'm okay. In terms of ganja issue with Nana, it wasn't a local publication. This was WikiLeaks. And it didn't only touch one person, even in Ghana. It touched the late president of saying certain things. But it could be positive, it could be negative. And that was what they said about Nana. We have to be very clear. He has the right to come and dispute it and ensure that he is able to clean himself. And that is it. The current African Watch, when they did that, they published the medical records. That is African Watch. They have a responsibility to prove beyond reasonable doubt that this is not that. And his daughter was interviewed, and he said he's been his doctor for recently, and he was referred whether he has the history. He said no. And every doctor we know should have a history. When it comes to health, I don't want to use health issues for campaigns. No. Because we have had one before, which they use as a political tool. I'm okay. We don't think, and as the president said, we will use health for political gains. No. 3, tribal and those things.
Regional.
We are here when
ethnic.
a flag bearer said, "Young Kamfor, we are brave." This is a flag bearer, not a chief of staff. A flag bearer. Urging his people to get up and fight. That is violence. You see, we must be able to know when somebody pleads and when somebody is instigating people. That is the major difference. Somebody is instigating the people that, yeah, Kafua, we must get up, we must fight. That is violence. And that is what we just discussed. A chief of staff says, oh, he's your brother. Who said the sadness are Nanado's brothers? Accra is. Let's take Accra.
It's for Ghana. Yes.
Let's take
But it's even
Pecos.
a cosmopolitan area.
Let's take Takoradi. So we must be very careful when we start dividing and branding this and branding that.
But he's saying that sort of politics is not the way to go. You don't go saying that he's vote for somebody because you feel he comes from your geographic area. Because in this sense, he's not necessarily coming from.
No, I believe
he didn't go.
We don't win votes from one geographical area. We don't win votes from one geographical area.
You win some votes.
You win votes cut across.
He's worried. He seems to be worried that
because if you
that kind of campaign is influencing people.
I don't.
No, it's taking us to Rwanda.
Okay.
No.
That campaign is taking us to Rwanda.
It won't take us to Rwanda.
That is what I'm talking about.
You see, we must be able to digest when it comes to ethnic. We are so diverse in Ghana, so many tribes. So if you say, brother, which ethnic group is he talking about?
I say he's talking of northern and southern divide.
Which is southern? Which is southern?
We are Ghanaians. We know what he means.
Which is southern? Is it Accra?
We know what he means.
So your point is that
No,
in
we
the
know
north
what
we
he
have
means.
different tribes.
We have different. We are many.
So when somebody says vote for my brother, vote for him because he's your brother, what does it mean? So it could be in a Mamprosi area, not necessarily connected, or a Wale.
Yeah.
President Mama went to the Mamprosis, who are our brothers, but we are different
Tribes.
ethnicities. He said, "Oh, Bawumia is my brother. I'm the president."
Mamprosi, what sort of language do they speak?
Mamproli.
Mamproli.
Yeah.
And that's different from his language, the Gonja language.
Yeah, we are totally different. When they speak, I don't understand unless I learn it.
Is that so?
Yes.
So you are not one after all.
We are not.
And you should be worried when they say
we have the Konkobe, we have the
You shouldn't be
Dagombe,
worried when they say that.
Shouldn't be worried.
we have the Wales.
We have north and south divide.
Okay.
It's not
Yeah, true.
We have north and south
Have it
divide.
finished.
No, he asked me. That's why I'm interviewing. We have north and south
Okay,
divide.
point made.
So,
Conclude for me so that we'll go on to the next
So-
subject.
and the recent one made by, he has apologized because he didn't have facts.
Who?
The Ghanaian Lebanese.
Fadi Dabusi.
Yes,
Oh,
who
that
said-
gentleman, he speaks Tree, he speaks Hausa.
who
He's
said
full Ghanaian.
the president had impregnated Otumfuo's daughter, but couldn't come out with facts. You must always back. And in his explanation, he said, oh, he picked pieces from most of the papers, but he has not been able to refer to those particular papers that he picked them from. You see, in journalism, you do and back your things with facts. If you may say a large newspaper, that newspaper, when writing, you must have those facts at the back of your mind. That when you are confronted, you should be able to mention, on this day of a large newspaper, page this, he said this, I picked that from there.
Point
This
made.
one, I picked that from there. But coming out with a blanket statement without facts is very dangerous. Because it becomes difficult to defend.
Adams will tell you.
And that is why he
the
has,
situation.
he has to
You are
come and
milking the
apologize.
situation. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You know,